Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another video. This is a video I've kind of wanted to do for a while, like something like this, but I was inspired to actually do it by another content creator, which I'll get onto in a second. But basically this video is top 10 things Tapped Out needs to change with its major events. So I know that's a clunky title, but basically what I mean in this video and what I'm trying to demonstrate in this video is I do think, especially after the recent Circuit de Springfield event, that Tapped Out has like a really massive problem when it comes to major events. Now, I think mini events sometimes are hit or miss, but for the most part, I enjoy an aspect of mini events. Maybe not Red Alert. I think Red Alert was the first like really bad one in a while, where it's like, I think mini events are fine. They do them perfectly well. They're short, they're sweet. You have some content thrown in there, some premium, you know, some free stuff. I'm fairly happy enough with the mini events, but I do take issue with the major events. I think there's a lot of things they need to do to improve them. And so basically this event is, or this video even, is basically just me going through how they can save those events. How can they make those events great again? So essentially, I was inspired by a YouTuber called TSTO Jossie. Now, this is a YouTuber that I've had interactions with for some time, been watching his videos for a while. He does have like a lot of his videos in German, so he's not really for English-speaking audiences most of the time. However, he has released a recent video called Why TSTO Destroyed Themselves, which I do think is a really interesting video that you should check out. Now, this one is in English. He commentates this one in English, so you English speakers, you can watch it. It's all good. You don't have to watch any subtitles or anything. Yeah, it's a really good video where he goes through the different points. Now, I don't agree with, the one thing I kind of disagree with was the pay-to-win thing. I don't really necessarily think Tapped Out's ever really been pay-to-win, because you're not getting an advantage over another player by like, having a super premium item, you know? There's no, like, it's not like you're leveling up, maybe you're leveling up faster, but that's not part of the game. The game is to do with building a town, so I don't really consider it pay to win. I more consider it like pay to get everything, you know? If you want everything, you have to pay. So, yeah, here's this video. Definitely go check it out. It's a really good video. I'll leave a link in the description. So shout out to TSTO Jossie. This is basically why I was inspired to do this video. But anyway, let's get into the number 10. So I've got 10 things that I think could help improve Tapped Out's major events. So number 10 is more returning content and mystery boxes. So this one I think is low down on my list just because I think for the most part Tapped Out does a pretty good job at like bringing back returning content. However, I do have like slight criticisms with the way they approach it sometimes. So I personally think it would be a lot nicer if some of the super premium stuff we get is just, some of the premium returning items we get, so the stuff that was premium that's now returning, add it in for free, you know, like chuck it in the prize track as like a bonus extra thing, or you can have, you do a particular quest line and you get it, or just give us the mystery boxes free more often. So instead of just giving us 1 token per price track, which is what they normally do, give us 2, give us 3. You know, let those players who don't have things or who haven't played this whole time, allow them to actually get a few more items from previous events. And I think as well, I've noticed in the past, there's like items that they definitely could have added to the mystery boxes, which they didn't. And I don't see what the problem was, or problem is, with just making the mystery box like really fat, making it like just a lot of shit in there, you know, a lot of stuff to get. That could be very cool. That's one way they can go about it for sure. I have also noticed that recently they have been adding a lot of things to the store. For example, in the Circuit de Springfield event, they added the Freak Show 10 and Strongman Homer into the store for donuts, instead of just giving us those items for free. Now, bear in mind, the Strongman Homer costume was free at the time, so I don't understand why that has been made premium now. Just add it in for free. It was free when it was originally added, so give it in for free. And same with the Freak Show 10. I'm pretty sure that was cash, and then they added it in for donuts. So yeah, just give us that stuff for free. Stuff that was previously free, give it us for free. And this also kind of relates to the wall debate. With the zoo wall, for example. So in the Treehouse of Horror event that we recently got, the one last year, they obviously gave us the geriatric park that you could build up, and they kind of added back a bunch of the zoo content. Now, I was fine for the most part with how they did it. The one thing that annoyed me, though, was the fact that they added the zoo walls in for donuts. Now, the zoo walls, when they were first added, were cash, and I think they should remain cash, because you want players to build up their zoo, allow them to actually buy the zoo wall. yeah, so this is something that I just think would improve the game a lot. You know, incorporating the returning content in a sort of smooth way is awesome and all. Like, you know, chucking in a mystery box, but you know, you can throw things that are very loosely related. Like, for example, with the Cirque de Springfield, like you can throw in like the aquarium, for example, with Sarah Wiggum. I'm not sure if that's in the mystery box. It might be, but you know, like that doesn't correlate exactly. But it's about like, you know, families having a day out. So it makes sense. You know, you can be fast and loose with it a little bit because it's only a mystery box after all. It's not the actual structure of the event. So yeah, that's my first point, number 10. Number 9 is more classic/modern focus. So some people may agree with this, and that's completely fine. I personally prefer the sort of events and, events that base around classic episodes, or as a alternative, it could be an event that bases it on a modern episode, but throws in one or two things from the classic era. Now, I'm not asking for like every event to be like a classic, based on a classic, or a sort of, you know, let's say season 8 to 15 episode. Like, I don't want like every event to be based on like a classic episode, right? I'm not asking for that. What I'm more sort of focusing on is, I think they should really incorporate a classic character or a classic building or a classic decoration into maybe not every single major event, but at least every other major event. You know, give us a character like Colette. Give us an episode, like an event based on a more modern episode. They seem to shy away from this quite often. Like, if you look at all the mini events, they are based on like, some of them are based on like some more modern episodes. The only one I can really think of in recent memory is Tavern Trouble, which bases it on like a real proper classic episode. But even with that, for example, like they did throw in a bunch of modern content, and I think that event worked just because of that. So personally, yeah, I would prefer it if they could just chuck in a few more extra classic items here and there. And yeah, the argument may be levied, well, you know, they'll run out of items eventually. Sure, that's possible, but like at the end of the day, I would rather them like, you know, do more modern episodes and not have any classic stuff left, and that be the reason, then they choose to focus on more sort of modern stuff and modern episodes and modern characters, and they decide against adding classic characters just because they want to save them. Like, I'd rather just get them. I'm not saying I want an event where it adds like a bunch of classic characters and then followed up by another event that adds a bunch of classic characters. Just sprinkle them in here and there. That's all I'm asking for, and I think that would be like really cool. It would make the event, you know, make the event feel better, because for me at least, and maybe this is just more my opinion, I don't care that much for the modern characters. A lot of the modern characters to me are so boring and bland, so I think it would just, you know, spruce up the game a little bit. Number 8 is longer character quest lines and also building/deco quest lines. Now, I've noticed in recent sort of events, especially like the last year or two, character quest lines have been pretty short. Now, they used to be like 5 or 6 parts. Some of them like would be even longer than that. Like, some character quest lines go on forever. I think 5 parts is fairly fair. That's a fair like quest line. Now, I think personally, for me, if you're paying for a premium character, if you've saved up donuts or you've bought donuts, there should be a longer quest line. So I think for premium stuff, it should be at least a 6-parter. However, with the character quest line, with the character quest line for like the free characters, I think that one, 4 at the minimum, maybe 5, 4 or 5 parts. I think for premium, it has to be 6-part for me, and for regular sort of, you know, regular free character, it should be at least 4 parts. 6 and 4. And then with the building and deco quest lines, this is something they've also not done. So the only building quest line I can think of recent memory that was like a new item is the Black Friday stuff. And to me, that's not really like acceptable. Like, I think even the stuff in the prize track, like the buildings you unlock on the prize track, they should have at the very least a 1-part quest line to them. Even if it's just like Homer's like, oh wow, there's cool buildings in the thing, let's go visit it as a family, and they send them off there. You know, it just gives the building like an extra little bit of, you know, build up to it. It doesn't feel like you've just chucked it in your town and now you can forget about it. You have to do a quest line. And decorations. I don't want a questline for every single decoration, obviously, but for like the more notable decorations, I do think there should be a questline for them. So basically, that's just my thing. I just think it, personally, to me, it shows a lot more care when they have that. When they have like 3-part questlines for characters, which is what they have in like recent memory. There's been like it's mostly just been 3 parts, or if you're lucky, a 4-parter. I think there have been like a few 5-parters here and there, but for the most part, they've been 3 or 4-parters. It just doesn't like scream care to me. It kind of seems like they should have a bit more of a story to them. And I think as well, this would actually improve quest lines, because I do feel like the quest lines have been pretty poorly written as of late as well. So yeah, that's my opinion on that. Number 7 is more community interaction. So this is kind of a big point. So I've got a few ideas for this, but just to go over like stuff that we've got in the past. Community prizes would be a good shout. Now, if you didn't play back in the day, there used to be these things called community prizes, and essentially, I believe it's all bullshit. Don't get me wrong. I think it's all BS. Like I do think that it's all lies, because it was always convenient that the community would get the last item on like the second to last day. So I think it's all bullshit, but nevertheless, I like it because it kind of says like, okay, we all as a community need to collect this amount of stuff, all right? So in order for everyone to get this stuff, we need to unite together and, be able to actually complete all these, whatever, like tap these things or complete this thing. And I like that. It actually has oh shit, I'm helping here. You get that feeling, and I think that that's a really cool aspect that they just completely dropped, and I don't understand why, because I think it worked really well. Another thing is, back in the day, there used to be a lot of interaction with your friends' towns. Nowadays, you don't even need to visit your friend's town. Like, why would you need to? In these events currently, there's absolutely no reason. It doesn't benefit you in any way. Like, there isn't even anything that would help you improve. So, for me, I think a good example of this is the Whacking Day stuff. Now, in the Whacking Day stuff, you actually had to go place eggs in your friend's town to essentially earn, more stuff. Like, if you wanted to progress a little bit more, you would have to go into your friend's towns and drop some eggs. I like this. Let's have a bit more interaction where you actually have to do something in a friend's town to be able to progress. And it's not like people are going to be like, well, I don't have any friends on Tapped Out. There's so many Discord servers, forums, Reddit subs. There's so many places where you can get friends on Tapped Out. And I'm sure EA knows that people, fill their friends lists up with randos. And I think that's fine. That's a cool way of doing it. It's actually allowing people to interact and communicate with each other through this game. That's a good thing. So I want more interaction like that, where you actually have to go into friends' towns. I can't say it. A few ideas I had as well is maybe a vote potentially. So I had this idea kind of for the whodunit. So for example, with the holiday whodunit, there was kind of that mystery aspect. Obviously, we know it was Herb in the end, but it kind of starts off, you think, oh, it's gotta be Sideshow Bob who did this, obviously, and then you find out, I think it was Herb and Mary, wasn't it, who did it, but you find that out eventually along the line. But what would be really awesome is to have an actual proper mystery. So there was actually kind of with the Who Shot Mr. Burns mystery, we could have an event where a character dies, or a character is knocked out like Santa Claus and his job's taken or whatever, or something's stolen, and we could maybe have some clues here and there in the quest line, maybe a few sort of nods and winks, and then at the end of the day we have a vote. Wiggum's okay, I'm going to ask all the Skyfingers I know, all the players I know, okay? All the Springfielders I know, I'm going to ask them all. And whoever they vote for is the person we'll finger. And then after that, you'll find out if it was right or not, if the community kind of got the mystery right. I think that would be a really cool way of doing it, for example. Or something like that, where the community actually has to come together and and figure something out. I think that would be a really cool way as well. It kind of adds that community interaction. But yeah, I do want more sort of community interaction, a way to make this feel like a more united community, because as of late, it's been very single player. I felt that with the game. It has been very single player. And I know that this game's never going to be multiplayer to the extent of an MMO or something like that. Obviously not. But I miss that interaction with other people's towns, and I think it could be a thing that could greatly improve the game for sure. Number 6 is more content. So this pretty much is just simple, easy. Why don't we get more content in the game? Now, currently we obviously have multi-events. They are essentially our new major events, and they basically normally how they play out is you have 5-part prize track, 5-part prize track repeated 4 times. So that will be at maximum in that prize track. You will get like 5, 10, 15, 20. You'll get 20 items. Maybe 1 or 2 will be combos where you'll get one and you'll get like 2 items or 3 items in one. But for the most part, you're getting like 20 items essentially. You know, normally like 3 characters / costumes. Normally 4 or 5 buildings. It's very it's a bit of a downer, to be honest. It's not very much content. If you like think back, or if you look back at like previous events that we used to get in the game, we're not getting much content. And of course you have the premium stuff, which is normally just the combo. It's just the character building combo, or the costume building combo, or sometimes a character decoration combo, and that's it. And then maybe as well, normally now you'll get a super premium item also chucked in, which tends to be a character. So to me, this is, I don't know, I think they could add more content. I think a lot of the time we're restricting ourselves and thinking, well, ooh, like that item's not so bad. But like, for example, why have decorations in the prize track? We used to have a really great system, and it was a system, well, maybe it wasn't so great because it got on people's nerves, but a system that worked nonetheless, and that was crafting. Alright, I got sick of crafting. I was done with it by the time they switched it up, and I was so happy they switched it up. Now, I kind of miss it. I don't want crafting to come back full time, but it would be awesome if like an event in the future brought back crafting, just for an event. I would like that a lot. Now, there could be other ways to do it. So crafting is obviously an option, and maybe not an option I like. It's very tedious. However, here's a good example: cash. The cash in the game is pretty redundant at the moment, at least for me. I know people have like use for it when it comes to grinding and when it comes to like things like that. But for the most part, cash, if you got everything in the game, cash is pointless. Because when a new event comes around, there's nothing to buy with cash. It's donuts and the prize track. So you could chuck in decorations for cash. That's a good idea. You know, throw them into the store. And just make them ridiculously high in cash. Like drain people's wallets. That's cool. Because like it kind of adds a bit more, you know, makes it harder, I guess. Another thing is having some other kind of system. Like, for example, maybe you tap a certain amount of tappables, and that helps you unlock like a new decoration. That's another option. You know, you could just bog down the crafting and make it really, really easy. Like, for example, here, you just tap the Justice Agents, and then you earn this stuff. And maybe like there's 3 different types, and as long as you earn enough of them, and tap them, then you can craft your item. Something like that. I think the level, because crafting used to have levels as well, I think that should be scrapped because that made it too difficult. And yeah, and adding more content, or allowing more content to be added in the game, allows for more characters. For example, Eddie Muntz. He should have been added in the Circus update for sure, but like he wasn't, and I think that's such a missed opportunity. And another way they can add more stuff is add more premium stuff. I'm fine with them adding new premium stuff, okay? When it comes to returning items, I like some of the past premium stuff to be free. However, if it's a new event with new content, chuck it in. Chuck it in for premium. I don't care. You can have 2 or 3 character combos in the store. Or, for example, have a character combo in the store and a building. Or a character combo in the store and just a character on its own. You know, like something like that I think would work quite well. And another thing, another option, another way they could do this to add more content is this. Mystery boxes. Let's focus on the mystery boxes, but instead of it just being returning items, chuck in some new stuff. They did this with Brunella Pommelhorst in one event. They chucked her into a mystery box. I like that. Add a character into the mystery box. Why not? It works, like a new character or a new building. I think that's a really, really cool way of actually adding new content, because that way the people who unlock the mystery boxes in the prize track have something new to get if they've got everything already. So yeah, that's another kind of improvement I think would be beneficial, and it's just more content. Number 5 is more interaction and tapping. So this kind of relates a little bit to the community stuff and a little bit to the whole crafting stuff, but I want more interaction in the game. Now, granted, they have improved as of late. obviously we had the Breakout Bounty with the tappables, and I believe the Treehouse of Horror one also had the tappables with the dinosaurs. And Thanksgiving, did that have tappables? I think it did, didn't it? What was Thanksgiving? I actually forget what Thanksgiving was. Oh no, it didn't. It didn't have tappables, I don't think. No, it didn't. But Christmas had the trivia, and I like the trivia as well. The trivia, the tappables, they're both really cool. But I've got a very funny feeling that they've dropped this already, because both Red Alert and the Circus update do not have this feature, and I feel like they've already dropped it. Now, I know that there was some backlash, so maybe this is just a personal thing. A lot of people did not like the return of I went on one Reddit thread and I saw a lot of people did not like the Breakout Bounty stuff. I think the trivia was tended to be fairly well received, but a lot of people were kind of annoyed that they had to go look for the answers. So maybe that wasn't well received either. But I really like both of these features. But that's not the only thing they could do. We could just get a mini game, like chucking a mini game into an event. That's awesome. Like, and that could be another way that could relate to getting more content. Like, so the mini game could actually help you unlock new content. That could be another cool way to get new content. Chuck in a mini game like the Maggie one, or like we had the superhero stuff. Like the superhero stuff was really cool as well. You level up with superheroes and then verse them against each other. That was awesome. Something like that. Just a bit more interaction. Let's not make it so simple and easy with the prize track. Let's have a little mini game here or there, or like some tappables or some trivia. You know, I like these things. These are cool. These are cool features. Anyway, you already saw it. Number 4 is less super premium. Okay. Now I understand. EA is a free game. Oh, sorry, EA. Tapped Out is a free game. EA needs to make money. Alright, that's true. I understand that. And I can empathize with that. I can accept that. And I can even accept some super premium, okay? If they wanted to do like a super premium item in Black Friday, I think at this point I've kind of accepted Black Friday. I do think it's too expensive, and you could add a lot more content for like a cheaper price, and I think you would actually probably get more sales. I don't know. Like if you added like something for £1, something for £2, another thing for £3, another thing for £4, another thing for 5, 6, 7, 8, and it maybe goes up to like £30. And if you want everything, you have to pay 30 quid. I think that would be like a lot more better of a deal, and a lot more people would buy into it. If you're getting like 30 items for 30 quid, that's like a steal. And it's meant to be Black Friday as well. It's meant to be a good deal. That's the whole point of Black Friday. So yeah, I'm normally okay though. I think I've come to accept Black Friday now. I think I've just allowed it to happen. So I'm okay with Black Friday, and I'm even okay with them just like slipping in a super premium every other major event or every other mini event. So not like every event is essentially what I'm saying. I don't want a super premium item in every single major and every single mini event each time. That to me is just bad. Like, let's keep it to just every blue moon, right? 4 a year at most, maybe 5. 5 super premium stuff, 5 including Black Friday. So you're allowed 4, 2 in a major event, in 2 major events, and 2 in a minor event, okay? Or a mini event even. Because recently, super premium stuff has just been like constant. We got one in like every event pretty much last year had one, apart from, actually, did any event actually not have it? I think New Year, New You was the only event, wasn't it? I think so. I think New Year, New You was like literally the only event that didn't have super premium. So, maybe I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. But yeah, there's way too much super premium stuff for me. I think they need to tone it down. We need to have less super premium stuff. And I think that will, it will help people feel better about it, and also makes them more worth it, If they only pop up every so often, I'm like, okay, that's cool, wow, maybe I'll buy that. So, yeah, less super premium. I think that will help improve the event for sure. And then number 3 is fix the structure. I feel like the structure in Tapped Out has been pretty diabolical as of late. Now, you have events like Love and War, which is just completely broken. Like, look at this. For me personally, I think characters should come last. There should always be, okay, so there's a fundamental thing to a structure and a prize track, right? Every prize track, for each part of the prize track, needs to have one character / costume, one building at the very least, but I would more say it should have at least 2 buildings. For me personally, I think each prize track should have one character / costume, 2 buildings at the very least, and then the other 2 can be decorations, or if you want one building, one very, very awesome decoration, and then 2 decorations, at the very least. And I'll allow, like, an animation here or there. But like Love and War, for example, was so broken. Like this one here, you get a decoration, an animation, a pretty mediocre decoration, a token, which I hate tokens filling a part in the prize track. That's stupid to me. And then a building. And then like this one, I'm pretty sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So this one's a decoration, an animation, a decoration, a cool decoration. I'll give it that. A token, and then a building. These two are like so broken. Like there's no character, no costume. What the hell? And like for example, I think the circus update's fairly fine enough for structure. But like this one, you've obviously got a decoration, a building, a decoration, a building, a decoration. This is wrong as well. Like this elephant pyramid shouldn't be the final prize. I think final prizes needs to be a character, or sometimes I'll allow them to switch it up if it makes sense to the quest line, or if it makes sense, or like if the final item's like pretty cool. For example, in the Into the Simpsons verse, they added the new tube as the final prize. I was for the most part okay with that because it is like a really awesome building. So if it's something kind of grandiose and amazing looking, I'll allow it to be the final prize. But yeah, I do think the structure is pretty broken. I really hope they do fix it. And there's another way that I think would just be a better solution. But if they want to stick with the multi-events, then they need to fix the structure for sure. Anyway, number 2, drop the doppelgangers, right? I don't want them anymore. I'm sick to death of doppelgangers. They are annoying the crap out of me, alright? Especially when a lot of them could be costumes and you don't make them costumes. Now, I'm not trying to say that they would be amazing costumes, but I would be happy enough that they're costumes. So we had this really hard last year. We obviously had the Springfield Enlightened, which was full of doppelgangers. We had Love and War, which is full of doppelgangers. We had the Into the Simpsons verse, which granted I like those doppelgangers, but still was full of doppelgangers. Like last year, right? If I could drop some events, I'd drop Springfield Enlightened, I'll drop Love and War, but I'll keep Into the Simpsons first. Like, I'm cool with, I'm fine with doppelgangers as a concept if they're done right. But this, for example, this should just be a costume for Marge. This character, although yes, it is a separate character to Marge Simpson, is just Marge Simpson though. There's nothing that makes her stand out differently to Marge Simpson. Marge, if you have a bit more of an argument for, but the thing is, in that segment, Robin Hood Homer is from that same segment, and that is a costume, whereas this is a character. So, yeah, like, that's meant to be an alternative version of Homer, the Robin Hood Homer. So, really, that should be a character, but it's a costume. It's inconsistency, which I hate as well. And then the biggest thing is in the recent update, the circus update, these two things, and also the human donkey for Nelson, they're characters, but they have to be costumes because they should be costumes because A, it's like an alternative version to The Simpsons if they were like freak show acts, and B, Strongman Homer, which is already in the game, was added years ago, is a costume. So like these should be costumes to keep inconsistency with that, and it makes me like really worried that like in the future we're just gonna get like if they were to add I'm trying to think like classic things. I don't know. Maybe not. I was going to say like Stonecutters, but they probably would just make those costumes. But like, yeah, I'm just worried for like the future because like we don't need all these doppelgangers. What's wrong with making them costumes? Like, why are you so adamant they have to be characters? Just make them costumes. It makes more sense. I don't want like 18 million different Marges walking around my town. It's weird. So yeah, that's the thing for me. Drop the doppelgangers. Let's have make these costumes, or an alternative, just don't add them. You don't have to add these two things. Like, I don't think they're necessary for the event to work. Maybe the Burns one is, but the Marge one certainly isn't. I think Strongman Homer works on his own. So instead of adding us Marge, give us Nelson's dad or the Cooter and Spud. Like, give us something else. And if you're so adamant that you really want to have like this version of Marge in the game, make it an animation. People would be I'd be way more accepting. I actually think it's really cool if they did not make this a costume. Just made it an animation for Marge. I think that'd be fine. Yeah, so, I don't know. That's my opinion. Drop doppelgangers. Anyway, we got a number 1. I'm, like, tired of speaking, so, drum roll. Number 1, switch it up. Gonna keep this one quick, simple. I'm done with multi-events, okay? Multi-events, they've been cool while it's lasted. They were a nice switch up when we first got them in the Christmas event all those years ago. This was the first event that actually featured multi-events. And do you know what? When they were first added in that update, I loved them. I thought it was such a nice switch up. I was so sick to death of the major events we were getting, where it was just crafting, prize track, boring, right? I was bored of it. And do you know what? Now I'm bored of multi-events. I'm done with them, okay? So let's drop multi-events. Let's get rid of this structure. Let's switch it up. We can go back to the old major event, sure. We could try that out again. Or come up with a new way of doing it. I think that's entirely possible. So that's my biggest point, really. That's the one thing I think would actually save major events, at least for me, is if honestly they came up with a new structure, I think I would be a lot more open-minded about like the content and some of the way that we unlock prizes or something like that. I'd be a lot more open if they just switched it up more often. We've had it for like how many years now? What was that? It was like Christmas. God, I don't even remember what Christmas that was. Jeez. Oh no. It's like 2-3 years, isn't it? 2-3 years have we had multi-events? It's been a long time, basically. We've had multi-events. Let's drop them. Let's switch it up. And that's how I want to end this video, on a positive message. Well, it's not really positive. It's a negative message. Tapped out. Switch up your major events, okay? They're boring, all right? I'm done with multi-events. I'm done, all right? I don't want them anymore. Let's have something new. And if you want to wait till Christmas to do that, fine. But if multi-events are still going past Christmas, I'm gonna send you a strongly worded email. Anyway, that's my my video of how they can improve events. Like I said, go check out this video. Very good, from TSTO Joshi 32, is it? And yeah, that's my video. Tell me your thoughts. Any other things that you think we could change that would make major events better? Please do let me know. I'd like to hear your thoughts. But that's my thoughts. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one. Goodbye.